When I was reading your book, I noticed that you had a framework. You called them your hypotheses.
Yes.
How many hypotheses? I think there were 10 hypotheses? 10. What is the first hypothesis?
Well, let me explain. The hypothesis to me is trying to peel the onion, you know, and to try to get from one level. It's
a journey for your readers, one level at a time. Very good.
It's intended to be a logic path to get to the end of the way to peace and plenty. Very quickly, the first hypothesis, which is the critical one, says that we have to start at the right place, and the right place is the economic system. That suggests that in the arrangement of culture, political structure, and economic system, the economic system has priority. And this is, in a way, the critical hypothesis, because I would suggest that most of our troubles over many centuries of history, we started in the wrong place. We've started with either the political system or the culture. And last time I looked, neither of them can feed, clothe, shelter, educate, or provide good health for all the people in the world. You have to get the system that create the most wealth and distributed broadly.
Okay.
So that's number one. Second is, I think, logically, what is that system? And I claim that that system is democratic capitalism. And as we get into it, you'll see that I also claim that the rules are being written for ultra-capitalism, which is the polar opposite. You know, that's the one that tries to...
So we have two hypotheses, or two theses, right? You have democratic capitalism, and you call ultra-capitalism?
Which is a combination of the old mercantilism that treats the employee as a disposable cost commodity.
That would be your ultra-capitalism.
And finance capitalism that is dominant, not supportive.
Okay. All right, now you were going to talk about your third hypothesis.
The third one is that economic freedom works in democratic as well as authoritarian places, and I give examples of that. Fourth hypothesis gets into ultra-capitalism. What is it, and how is it holding us back, and how do we end up with the government rules being written for the bad capitalism instead of the good capitalism? The next one is the bad banking. Not being either an economist or a banker, I can pontificate on what's wrong with the banking system, but I have spent 20 years studying this, I mean full time, and I think I can explain why the easy credit that comes out of poor government regulation is the reason for all the problems that we've had, including Enron.
We're seeing some high default rates right now in the home loan and the home mortgage market. Do you attribute that to government policy?
Absolutely. It's almost criminal that we let the banks, you know, seduce these poorest of the people to take these loans and to let them not make any payments for a year just to get them on, to get the hook into them, and then the floating rate goes up a point or two, and their mortgage payments go up 25–50%. They lose their homes.
Now, which hypotheses does this come under?
Ultra-capitalism and bad banking, 4 and 5.
4 and 5?
Right.
We're going to get to those later on.
Exactly.
And that will be a very interesting segment when we get to that. Let's continue with the list of the hypotheses.
6 is gridlock. If you're trying to figure out my politics, I'll explain that I think the Republicans proclaim free markets. At the same time, they're lobbying privileges to concentrate wealth. The Democrats go around and whine all the time and try to redistribute wealth by the government, but don't do their homework and learn how to fix the economic system. That's the gridlock, in my opinion.
Was that 7?
6.
6. We only have a couple of minutes left, right?
Okay.
Let's run through the remaining 3 for our viewers.
Okay. That then moves on to the truth-seeking process, which I copy very carefully from Lord Bacon, and I'll explain that later.
Okay.
And then it moves on into who could do something about this. And the first agent of change is the universities, and the second agent of change is the money managers, who should be...
That will be interesting talk.
Who should be supporting the good long-term capitalism and not the short-term and greedy one. Hypothesis 10 tries to pull it all together, and that's when we say, in effect, once the world has the plenty and it's visible and the standard of living is improving in all parts of the world, and people are united in this economic common purpose, then things like the UN and other efforts at perpetual peace, as Kant called it, are practical possibilities. And I think the idea that economic common purpose can do that, I'd suggest you look at cities like Detroit with unemployment, and there's nothing but friction in cities like Detroit when there was great employment and rising wages, and there weren't any problems. I think there is a bona fide relationship.
Yes, fascinating. This conversation around your 10 hypotheses, I think, will make for a rich exploration of both politics and how we operate today and how we challenge ourselves. That we have the optimal system for achieving, as you put it, the notion of the way to a world of peace and plenty, as it is in your book. Ray, I think that this journey that we're going to share today and there's many more segments with our viewers will be one in which they'll get to know you intimately, we hope, and more importantly, to get to know your inner book, the book that you were born to write, and how we can take that and help others share your enthusiasm for a way to a world of peace and plenty. Now, our series will continue, and in a moment, this section will end, and we'll be coming back to you with other sections which will focus on each of Ray's hypotheses. Our next section will explore on an individual basis each of his hypotheses one at a time, and we'll give Ray a chance to hopefully explain for you the exciting elements of his hypotheses and how they can help make a world of peace. I think that's something we're all interested in, and I look forward to this conversation. I hope you'll join me next time on Democratic Capitalism with Ray Carey. Thank you very much.